Hello, friends. So, this is a new lecture of ethics, and in this lecture, we will read about corruption, Bhrashtachar. So, corruption, you all would have experienced corruption in some way or another way in your life. It may be you would have seen a traffic police demanding bribe, or you would have seen a public servant not fulfilling his duty, or you would have seen a businessman trying to take extra money from you. So, in everyday scenario, you must have observed this phenomena, which is known as corruption. And there are multiple definitions which can be given, and one of the definition which I want to uh, give is that it is the use of one's position, status, or resources directly or indirectly for personal benefits. So it may be you are at high position and you are misusing that position for your own personal benefits, or you have a very high status and you are utilizing your status for your own benefit, or you have resources like you have extra money and now you are giving bribe and taking undue advantage from the different stakeholders of the society. So this is what is called as corruption. Now, it can be for the material gain or it can be non-material gain, but when we think about corruption, we think that it is only taking money from someone. But the phenomena of corruption is very broad. Like it can be about enhancement of power or prestige beyond what is legitimate for him. If you want to inflate your personality, this is also a kind of corruption. In the age of social media, you all would have observed that some or other personality is trying to inflate through paid subscribers, paid people, increasing the TRP on the media. You would have seen a recent case of Republic where it was alleged that they are misusing this TRP thing. So all of these things you would have observed. Now, World Bank have identified corruption as the single largest obstacle to economic and social development. Now, this phenomena is such a big phenomena, and in developing countries, the corruption has wings. In developed world, it has wheels, but in developing countries, it has wings, because everywhere you go, you will see that there is huge cloud of corruption, and specifically in the uh, high authorities, if you will see, or people are having high influences, they are using backdoor to garner more and more benefit, to have more and more direct or indirect personal benefit. Okay, so now we will analyze what are the facets of corruption. And second Administrative Reform Commission has given two facets of corruption. One is the institution which is highly corrupt. And say for example, it is said that system में ही दोष है. System ही दोष का क्या मतलब होता है कि even if you are honest and if the whole institution is highly corrupt, so what will happen? Your honesty will not work there. You will not be able to work in an honest manner. So institution is making the person corrupt. Second is individuals who are highly corrupt. It is not about the institution but individuals. This is also true. So both in real scenario, both these exist. Like institution is highly corrupt, or the individuals are highly corrupt. So these both phenomena can be observed in the system. So there is a need to work on public profiteering and also value to be attributed to the services rendered by officers. मतलब क्या है, मतलब ये है कि whatever service an officer is providing, there should be a value uh, attributed to that. Okay, कहा जाता है ना सेवा परमो धर्मा. ठीक है. So that's why the term bureaucrat is not seen in a positive manner, but civil servant is something which is a positive connotation, where a person is providing the requisite service to the people or to the citizen of this country. ठीक है. अब there are types of corruption. There can be many types of corruption. If I want to give it, then it will be endless, like gray, white, collusive, legal, moral. There are so many things, but two are main. One is coercive corruption. Coercive क्या होता है? Because you are not at all willing to pay a bribe, but as it is urgent and you don't have resources to complain, or you don't have time or whatever, uh, or the person in front of you is so much powerful, so here the citizen is compelled to pay a bribe in order to get this service. He or she is not willing to pay that, but he or she is compelled to pay that. That is called as coercive corruption. Citizens end up losing much more than they try to resist corruption. Okay. when they मतलब इसका क्या है कि अगर करप्शन को वो रेसिस्ट करना चाहें तो इतनी चीज़ें स्टेक पे लगी हुई हैं कि उनको बहुत बड़ा लॉस हो सकता है. सो इस चीज़ का फ़ायदा उठाया जाता है. इट कैन बी इन द फॉर्म्स लाइक कैसे आप कंपेल कर सकते हैं, डिले कर दिया आपके चीज़ों को, हैरासमेंट, लॉस्ट अपॉर्चुनिटी, लॉस ऑफ प्रीसियस टाइम, वेजेस and time, even potential danger of loss of life or limb, कुछ भी हो सकता है. इतने तक भी प्रेशराइजेशन हो सकता है. तो इन सब के कारण कोर्सिव है. एंड सेकेंड वन इज कोल्यूसिव करप्शन. यहाँ पे पूरा कोल्यूजन है. अगर कोई इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट किसी चीज़ को ब्राइब देना चाह रहा है, तो वन इज इन्फ्लुएंशियल, तो वहाँ कोल्यूजन है, दोनों की सहमति है. सो देर इज अ कोल्यूजन बिटवीन द ब्राइब गिवर एंड द पब्लिक सर्वेंट. ठीक है. Both of them benefit at the cost of the society. Society is at lose-lose position, and दोनों को, पब्लिक सर्वेंट को पैसा आ गया, एंड उसको भी अपना जो भी whatever decision he wanted in favor of his own benefit, he got that. For example, in awarding contracts for public works and procurement of goods and services या recruitment of employees, तो ये सारी चीज़ें हो गई collusive corruption. Causes क्या हो सकती है? There can be endless, बट मैं आपको एक स्टैंडर्ड पॉइंट बताना चाह रहा हूँ जो मेंशन करना, नाम भी कमेटी का. शांतनम कमेटी आइडेंटिफाइड द फॉलोइंग कॉजेज ऑफ करप्शन इन इंडिया. ये नाम जरूर लिखना, शांतनम कमेटी. सो फर्स्ट इज गवर्नमेंट टेकिंग अपॉन इटसेल्फ मोर देन व्हाट इट कुड मैनेज बाय मींस ऑफ रेगुलेटरी फंक्शंस. अब यहाँ पे ना गवर्नमेंट ने हर कुछ में ही, इनिशियली तो इट वाज देयर कि गवर्नमेंट वाज इवन मैन्युफैक्चरिंग बाइसाइकल्स एंड वॉचेस, and the basic function of the government to provide a good law and order was absent, to provide good health and education was absent. So जो basic चीज़ें हैं वो provide नहीं हो रही हैं, but they are making bicycle, they are making watches, they are into doing business, but the basic things which should be provided to the public, which is the basic edifice of a state, was missing. So पहली चीज़ तो ये हो गई. Second is scope of discretion in the exercise of power vested in the various categories of government servant. चीज़ें कोडिफाइड नहीं है, डिस्क्रिशन का स्कोप बहुत है, क्लियर मेंशन ऑफ रूल्स नहीं है, देर इज लॉट ऑफ इफ एंड बट, एंड देर इज लॉट ऑफ स्कोप ऑफ डिस्क्रिशन विच शुड बी मिनिमाइज्ड. हाउ इट कैन बी मिनिमाइज्ड? by the way of increasing transparency, by way of increasing accountability, by way of codifying procedure, by way of citizen charter, by way of involving people in the governance, by way of using information and communication technology, ICT or e-governance. These are some of the methods. And third is cumbersome procedure in dealing with various matters, in dealing with public, which were of importance to citizens in their day-to-day life. A simple example is, if you have any, you are living in a government quarter and there was a tree और वो बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गया, and इतना ज़्यादा it has grown कि अब it has become problematic to the people living there. But PWD cannot cut it. There has to be a certain procedure where forest department will come, forest department would be involved, and forest department would do the necessary thing which can be done, and the process is so cumbersome that if you go to any government quarter or flats, you will see trees growing into the houses. Some of the buildings have become danger. So बहुत ही complex procedure. अगर किसी भी लिहाज से अगर ट्रीज को आपको किसी भी चीज़ के लिए अगर आपको कट करना पड़ा एंड आपको रीग्रो करना कहीं और पे, तो प्रोसीजर इज सो कम्बरसम दैट इट कैनॉट बी लिटरली डन बाय अ कॉमन मैन. ठीक है. So this is a some example. I can give you more example that cleaning of drainage in Delhi. There are so many authorities और वो सबका मतलब डायमेंशन के अनुसार बांटा हुआ है. जैसे इससे बड़ा होगा तो एमसीडी विल डू, इससे बड़ा होगा तो देर विल बी दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट कम इनटू द पिक्चर्स. ठीक है, जल बोर्ड कहाँ पे आ जाता है, बहुत सारे अथॉरिटी. मतलब ऐसा है कि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट भी इन्वॉल्व है, स्टेट गवर्नमेंट इज ऑल्सो इन्वॉल्व एंड म्यूनिसपैलिटी इज ऑल्सो इन्वॉल्व. तीनों टायर इन्वॉल्व है. इस वजह से आपने देखा होगा कि क्लीनिंग ऑफ ड्रेनेज बिकॉज ऑफ द इन्वॉल्वमेंट ऑफ थ्री अथॉरिटीज एंड देर इज नो मतलब उन तीनों में तालमेल नहीं है. देर इज लैक ऑफ सिंक. ठीक है, तो इस वजह से क्या होता है कि अब बारिश होगी, जाम हो जाएगा हर जगह. ठीक है, क्योंकि वाटर लॉगिंग विल बी देयर, urban flooding phenomena, and it is not specific to Delhi. You take any city of India, you take Hyderabad, you take Bangalore, you take Chennai, you take Kolkata, you talk about Mumbai, you talk about any city in the country, and you will see there is a rainfall and there is urban flooding. So why it is happening? So ये आप अपने आसपास ही देखोगे तो ये चीज़ें आपको दिखेगी एंड परसिस्टिंग है. ऐसा तो है नहीं दिस इज अ रॉकेट साइंस. Countries like China, Singapore, etc. have resolved this, successfully resolved this. So this is not a rocket science, but this is basic thing. So first of all, we need to correct basics, and then we need to talk about being the Vishwaguru or world leader, because the basics are more important. Our health, education, corruption needs to be reduced. Okay. अब है कि there is also one connotation that society makes a person corrupt. Yes, because since you are born, you have observed corruption around you. You have seen your parents giving bribe or telling a lie for their benefit, or if your parents are very honest, then you would have seen your neighbors, you would have observed your friends when you grow. So you have inculcated values from this society. Secondly, अगर कहीं corruption हो रहा है तो there is a phenomena that even if you say something or even if you complain, nothing will happen. There is a चलता है attitude. So that चलता है attitude is also due to the societal phenomena. It is not present in Japan. It is not present in Germany. In Japan, if there was a politician who distributed watermelon, he became the minister and he had to resign from the post just because of distribution of watermelon to people for vote. And this is the country Japan. And India, everybody knows there is 500 rupees, 200 rupees liquor, etc. Just before the election it is being distributed, and there is a mockery of democracy. So these all things, and this is not party specific, this is not specific to any individual, this is something which is present in the society. That's why it is called as that corruption is a societal phenomena, because society itself is making people corrupt. And secondly, the people who are corrupt, you can see there is a growth in their career, and people who are honest, they are thrown into darkness. They are punished for their honesty, they are punished for raising their voice, and there are lots of examples. There is a prime example of Ashok Khemka sir, and you can see that people often say that he is too honest. What is the definition of too honest? So all these things show that society is making people corrupt. Okay, and thus it is a societal phenomena, and that's why it gets differentiated in society to society. And India is hovering around 80 in the corruption perception index in the Transparency International. So if you want to make people honest, you have to change these societal values, and it starts from the family, goes to our education system, and if justice is seen by an individual, he will also act justly. And this has been said by the many philosophers in the country. So this was a basic lecture on corruption, and I hope it will help you. Thank you. Take care. Best wishes.